people. But the people are retarded.
We recognize different ages for different purposes. We recognize 18 for the draft. We recognize 16 for driving in some states. We recognize 21 for drinking. So we recognize different ages for different purposes. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Could I have a second to engage that?
Certainly. I'll yield to the gentleman from Kentucky.
Would the chairman join me in co-sponsoring a bill to raise the draft age to 21?
No.
But the chairman feels that their brains aren't fully formed at 18, 19, and 20.
The research does indicate that in certain respects, but the Selective Service needs, I mean, if the country needs people, it needs people.
It needs people whose brains aren't fully formed?
In certain respects, yes.
I yield back.
This equation has four factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to zero. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra. But let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, health care, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Developing through technology an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned.
Back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Fuck Joe Biden.
Refuse to go along with this, and I'm seeing through all of your lies, Barack Obama, you wicked, wicked devil!
Welcome back to another night of Stick with Koolfrogg. I do have imposter shirts with me. How's it going, buddy?
Hello. Yes, I have to. I'm had to move to a different room. That room that I was in was way too hot. No air conditioning.
Listen to the pregnant billionaire for health. The pregnant billionaire for health. Is the health minister some dude that's dressed in drag?
Well, probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero.
I'm just asking. I mean, I could be wrong. You know.
Well, I mean, but that's just a fact of high school algebra. But let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look. If you can reduce one of these numbers down near to zero.
You got the number of people, and then you have the number of, the services per person, and, the energy per services, which comes from the people. So you have to reduce the number of people close to zero.
Which one has to get to zero first before we...
Well, first we've got population.
Just taking out the exact population. It's a good way to start off the show. We're only 4 minutes.
Well, that's how we do things around here. We really get down to the nitty gritty, you might say, of how we do things.
So
they don't call me bombastic Bill Gates for no reason.
We just had a couple of subjects that I had come across today. We had covered the episode 1 and episode 2, so I felt it would be a disservice to my watchers to not at least cover some of this hearing. CNN was nice enough to actually do a highlight for us. So that, just a little 4-minute clip of, the goings on from the day. I mean, it's just going to show us exactly what we already kind of know. So it's not going to be anything different. It does start the video out saying that, there's some sharp language and some other things that can, maybe not suitable for children. So, cover your kids' ears.
Is it sharp enough to reduce the population?
Or allow them to watch it so they actually see what's actually going on. Contains disturbing images and language.
Warning contains.
I'm telling you, if Pence cave, we're gonna drag motherfuckers through the streets.
Then President Donald Trump riling up his supporters on January 6, 2021. And directing their anger towards Vice President Mike Pence.
Mike Pence is going to have to come through for us. And if he doesn't, that will be a sad day for our country.
Trump personally putting the pressure on Pence in a tense phone call that morning.
He called him a wimp.
It was a different tone than I'd heard him take with the vice president before.
Do you remember what she said her father called?
Oh my God, a different tone.
The P word.
He's not allowed to
Later
change
tweeting
that.
an attack on Pence after rioters had breached the Capitol. All as Trump had been told repeatedly that Pence had no authority to simply reject states' electoral
Yeah, and
college
Pence went down to
votes.
Arizona and
As
made
he
a speech and
presided-
said that the border can't be closed off. Sorry. And the woman who's running for governor there, Carrie Lake, said, yeah, no, we're going to close it off. Screw you.
Awesome.
I mean, that's where Pence is at this point. Like, he's gone full on, like, take the mask off, like, No, he's always been like this. He's just, fooled everybody. And then now he's just full-blown open, out in the open, rhino, hack, globalist, who's right there
Almost as
just
much
telling
of a
you
rhino as the
there's
rest
nothing
of
we
the
can do.
rhinos that we know straight out.
Right.
It's kind of amazing. Kind of amazing how people don't really realize what they're actually looking at. It's
Slade says, so he's just a poser.
Over the
Yes.
congressional certification of the 2020 election.
Was it your impression that the vice president
me
had
for a little bit.
directly conveyed his position on these issues to the president, not just to the world through a dear colleague letter, but directly to President Trump?
Many times.
And had been consistent in conveying his position to the president?
Very consistent.
The committee focusing today on the role of Trump attorney John Eastman, who pushed the theory that the vice president could overturn Joe Biden's victory.
All we are demanding.
I mean, there is, such thing as the vice president gets to choose the electors that are in front of him. It is written.
And he's the
somewhere.
presiding judge of the hearing or the
One that actually says
joint.
what he sees. And, I mean,
He can either accept
he did
or
what
not
he did.
accept for
And
whatever
we
reason.
have to accept it. Joe Biden is our president.
Of Vice President Pence is this afternoon at 1 o'clock. He let the legislators of the state look into this so we get to the bottom of it.
Privately, White House officials were alarmed and pushed back on
state
Eastman.
legislatures is
Yeah, they
who's
thought he was crazy.
directly
Right,
under the
you had it.
Constitution supposed to make election law and supposed to determine who wins the electoral college in the state.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's like, oh, well, he's threatening, state legislatures and whatever. No, state legislatures are going, okay, we've kind of given this power off to the executive in our state, or these election board people or whatever the hell. How about we not do this anymore because we see it's kind of screwed up. We're going to just take back our power. Oh my God, says this process, the committee hearings. Oh my God. It's Trump threatening them. Trump is threatening these people by giving them a call and telling them thank you for looking into whatever at a committee hearing of the state legislature. That's him threatening them. Like, fuck all these people. And of course, they'll never play a clip from the state legislatures committee hearings on different things because those are too revealing and those are too explicit of the constitutional power that they do in fact have because they are the state legislatures. That's how this works. We are a federal constitutional republic with several states. You don't have a federal system without several states. If you don't want states, then you have just the national government just ruling over everybody like a freaking monarch or a dictator. We have states, we have localities of those states.
Kind of seems as though
it is a federal
we're
system of government.
A dictator of sorts as we were speaking, and they all thought that the last guy was a dictator. He just kind of makes you wonder if anybody really realizes what a dictator would actually do to all of us.
Out of your effing mind.
Even Fox News personality Sean Hannity sending these text messages to White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, saying on January 5th, "I'm very worried about the next 48 hours." But as he was peddling the theory, Eastman knew it was
Pence,
bogus.
Pence too, but Hannity, your friend,
does it suggest
the other poser, to borrow the term that Slater Editor just used. Hannity, the other poser.
The Senate gets to make the determination on his own. Pence's former counsel recalling tense deliberations in the White House, including this demand from Eastman on January 5th.
What most surprised me about that meeting was that when Mr. Eastman came in, he said, "I'm here to request that you reject the electors." He came in and expressly requested that.
And as Trump and Pence were privately sparring about the vice president's role, Trump issued a statement saying he and the vice president were in total agreement that Pence had the power to act.
We were shocked and disappointed because whoever had written and put that statement out, it was categorically untrue.
The message came from Trump.
He dictated most of it.
Had Trump succeeded, former Judge Michael Luttig
says the
offering
official
this.
cuck of Getter. I mean, Getter might be okay and all that. I'm not like necessarily dissing it. I'm just saying like that dude with the giant mask is a giant cuck.
I mean, compared to
Giant.
Twitter, it's not that much different. It's pretty much the same thing. They say they allow a little bit more free speech, but, you know, obviously if they're out there, you know, doing this kind of crap, they really don't know how free of speech they're actually allowing. I know, it's CNN. I couldn't find any other crappy news network than CNN.
That would actually go over it.
That would do a minimal highlight thing for me.
Warning.
Would have plunged America into what
Retired
I
judge of U.S. what? I can't see it
believe-
because of our avatars.
Oh, retired judge of the U.S. Courts of Appeals, Michael Luttig.
Oh, who gives a shit? Fuck off. Pardon my Portuguese.
would have been tantamount to a revolution, the first constitutional crisis.
Could you
since the
speak
founding
slower?
of the Republic.
Now, we're also learning that John Eastman asked
make it
to be
sound more
included in a
emotional?
potential list of pardons in the aftermath of January 6th. Now, he did not cooperate with the committee. In fact, when he was brought before them, he actually pleaded the fifth.
Every one of
many
these
times
people
when
on
asked a
CNN, they
number of
have to
questions.
like put
And
on
we're
their
also, Jake, learning
resume,
about some of the
I'm
next
gay,
steps the committee
or I
wants
am
to take,
like
one of which
the most
is to actually
sissy-ass cuck
interview
that's ever walked the face of the earth in
Supreme
order to
Court
work with these
Justice
people.
Clarence
So, like,
Thomas's
listen to
wife,
this guy talk.
Ginny Thomas, who's a conservative activist. She had emailed Eastman and also pushed to overturn the electoral results. Thompson telling us earlier, the chairman of the committee, Benny Thompson, telling us that they have
Can't even
sent a
pronunciate
letter
their words
to
at all.
Thomas asking for her to come in and answer their questions.
So, yeah, I mean, just as much of a clown show as anything else we've already watched off the first couple
Or
of
a
days.
Muppet show.
Looked like they were still showing the same clips that they had previously been showing. Nothing new. Saying it's new, but it's not. Spewing their hatred. Disgustingness. So.
Arrest all Republicans. Throw them all into camps. make sure that none of them have rights.
Right.
Did you vote for the orange man? You are terminated.
The other subject that I only put 2 subjects is this one might take us a few minutes to actually go through, because we're going to actually delve into this particular person and the issues that are currently around her, things that are
Yes,
happening.
thank you for calling her a person, so we don't assume her gender.
She is a her. She's really an interesting person. I actually like her.
I was just commending you for not assuming her gender, and you just did.
Yeah, well, she would be fine with me doing so, because that's exactly how she feels about most of the stuff. So this is
Ben Koolfrogg, you must die.
Lauren Boebert. Not a biologist.
Not a biologist.
Well, you don't have to be a biologist to see if you have a penis or not. Just
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I have like a frying pan, and I'm not really a biologist. I'm not entirely sure
if you can't see
how
it,
this frying pan identifies itself.
take your mom's mirror and, kind of look down there. You'll see.
My frying pan has it down there?
No.
Oh.
So then...
I'm thinking it might be pansexual. I'm not sure.
It might be. So it says she's a member of the Republican Party. She serves as the U.S. representative of Colorado's 3rd Congressional District. She was born in Florida. She moved to Colorado when she was 12. She lives in Rifle, Colorado, which she encourages everybody to openly carry firearms. And she's a very, very big proponent for firearms. Slade Raider says, "Is that an egg you're cooking? I'm not a biologist, so I can only guess what that is." Yeah.
Yes. See, now we're becoming truly enlightened, ladies and gentlemen. We now truly are getting to the peak of knowledge at this point. The pinnacle of wisdom.
Strong gun rights advocate. She I'm not gonna read all this off. There's an awful lot in there. She really, Mr. DJT, because a lot of us just love Trump. So this is Boebert supports Trump's claims of 2020 and other things to go along with that. And it's just so many things. She opposes the transition to green energies, abortions, educations and reassignments to sexual orientations. She's not into the non-heterosexual marriage stuff, and she supports isolationist foreign policy and minimizing immigration in the United States.
Yes, Lauren Boebert is a complete and total isolationist. She wants to live like feudal Japan, where they have like freaking, like if another country comes over and says like, "Hey, would you like to trade?" She just wants to like bomb the hell out of it out of the water. Just like blow it out of the water. That's what she wants to do, according to Wikipedia. Funny how I don't believe that that's entirely accurate.
Right. So,
Just saying.
A lot of people know about some of this stuff or whatever, her entrepreneurship or whatever, her owning restaurants and being a manager of a McDonald's when she was younger or whatever. And she's just done a lot of stuff.
The evil. The absolute. Just complete. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It's just horrible. I mean, like, you owned a restaurant? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, you're just terrible. You're a terrible human being.
She's got.
You don't deserve to run and be in office. Goodbye.
All those that she has. Obviously controversial in her own. A lot of people actually know who she is. She's like, it's like there's a lot of representatives you just never hear about them. You know, so you're like, who when you hear her name?
She's the
Lauren
particularly
Boebert.
good-looking one with the always having guns in the background whenever she's on some sort of Zoom or Skype call.
Right. So, let's see here. Let's move on. There's some issues, some rumors that had spread about what she had been doing.
Oh, you mean on January 6th what she was doing, or like before?
No, has nothing to do with that.
Oh, it's something different.
So, it seems as though the Daily Mail is rehashing an old story. And they're going to bring this one up because there's other things that are swirling around, controversies to go along with this, this particular person. So this is former cook Lauren Boebert's Shooter's Grill, where wait staff openly carry holstered guns. The customers were encouraged to dine armed. Claims she pointed a loaded pistol at him and frequently mocked him for supporting Obama. So this is plenty of years ago. This is not new news. But for whatever reason, like I said, they're rehashing an old article. And they just
if she actually did that, that person should have filed charges, and then they should have went to court, and if they didn't, then it was probably bullshit. Because if someone pointed a loaded gun at me and started cracking jokes every other day, I would probably be calling the cops.
Right.
Or getting the hell out of there.
So in a couple of these bullet points real quick, so like this one here says, oh my God, there's one in the chamber, and she starts laughing again. So, apparently there's some goings on that just weren't right if this is what actually happened.
Like Lauren Boebert's like the Joker, like, oh, well, there's one in the holster. Oops, it went off. Why so serious?
Right. So, look at those wonderful pictures of the assault weapons.
The horror.
Yeah, right? So, obviously, they're all encouraged to, protect themselves and go along with their Second Amendment. Now, I've heard this story before. This is not a new story. Like I said, they're rehashing this. They've brought this up once before, and I thought that this was actually kind of squashed to the point where they were like, this isn't true. I went looking around, and I couldn't actually find anything else. I didn't have a lot of time to do it. And I just kind of found it interesting that they're actually, like I said, as of today, rehashing this story from when she was a kid. Because there's this complaint. So I should actually pull up the, well, I don't know. I don't know which one I want to pull up here first. Let's do this one.
Whatever you's feeling, honey, you just put it up there.
U.S. Lauren Boebert starts legal action over sugar daddy allegations.
Oh my God.
You hear about this?
No.
So, the digging that I was able to do today, I was able to come up with some fun stuff. And I thought it was very interesting. So, I'm going to pull this down here real quick. We'll go back to that. Seem to be having issues with a particular screen, so let's do that and that. Okay, there it is. So there's this here. So it says at the top in a garbage bin with wheels. It says Fire Boebert, and there's flames shooting out the top. Actually, what you're actually looking at there. And it says for immediate release. Lauren Boebert was an unlicensed paid escort with SugarDaddyMeat.com and had 2 abortions. It really seriously goes into depth on this, and it says Boebert met Senator Ted Cruz in Aspen through the Cook family member escort client. That Koch family, that oil refineries. So this is.
Oh my God! Oh,
Right.
just kill me! Oh, for God's sake! So she met Ted Cruz with the help of the Koch brothers. Like, just kill me! Just
Right,
oh my God!
That's what this is saying, right? And
Oh my
These
God!
aren't my words. They have nothing to do with me. This is just something that I had found that was out on the internet, and we're just looking at it and we're critiquing what it's actually saying. So this is Boebert had an abortion at Planned Parenthood in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, due to her work with SugarDaddyMeat.com. So this is June 14th.
Planned Parenthood should have a record. Pulled it up.
Yeah, exactly. June 14th, 2022. Silk, Colorado. The American Muckruckers PAC Incorporated today announced that their team had volunteers have uncovered that Lauren Boebert was an unlicensed paid escort and met clients through SugarDaddyMeats.com. Text messages show she was a bankrupt at the time and looking for side income, and called her work pay to play. She was paid to escort wealthy men. According to our investigation, in 2019, Boebert was hired by a wealthy male client in Aspen, Colorado, who was a Koch family member. Boebert's rich client subsequently introduced her to U.S. Senator Ted Cruz in Aspen in 2019. After meeting with Senator Cruz, Boebert was encouraged by him to run for U.S. Congress. After Boebert announced her campaign for Congress in December 2019, Senator Cruz donated $126,000 to Boebert's campaign and helped her raise large sums of money during trips Boebert made to Texas. Boebert didn't disclose a $75,000 donation until Cruz's Federal Election Commission filings contradicted her filings. Boebert had an abortion at the Planned Parenthood clinic in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, due to her work with SugarDaddyMeats.com client. Boebert also had another abortion at a clinic in Grand Junction, Colorado, and it's not known whether the second abortion Boebert had was related to an Aspen client or a different SugarDaddyMeats.com client or someone else. American Muckruckers obtained this information through the exhaustive investigation and tip from a verified source close to the matter who has requested anonymity for fear of reprisals.
But notice they'll never find anything where it's like, oh, Lindsey Graham did something bad, or like, oh, John Corbin did something bad. No, it's always like, oh my God, it's Ted Cruz and the Koch brothers. And that woman that likes to carry around guns, she had 18,000 abortions in a year. It's like fucking hell. Like, do you honestly expect us to believe? No one believes this shit. And except for if you're a crazed, rabid, lefty freak.
So then that was page 1. This is page 2. This is the only other page that was with it. So it says, David B. Wheeler, president of the American Muckruckers PAC Incorporated, said the following. Lauren Opal Boebert is a big of a hypocrite as Madison Cawthorn.
Oh my God, hypocrite Madison Cawthorn. See, that in and of itself is just shit, because the stuff on Madison Cawthorn isn't stuff at all. It's just stupid shit. Like they get a recording of him when he's like 18 and like he's with his cousin in a vehicle and they're like randomly talking about stupid shit, and then they like start like finagling with each other. Like, oh, that's supposed to be bad? Like, oh, he's a hypocrite. Hypocrite about what? Like they're kids. Like they're just being stupid. Like Cawthorn's 25 years old. Or 26, something like that.
issues keeping these particular JPEGs open. It wants to keep on closing them.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that in and of itself, like if they're going to compare it to the Madison Cawthorn stuff, that's just evidence enough by itself. This is total shit. If you didn't already hear it enough, like Ted Cruz, she met with Ted Cruz. Did she meet with anybody else? How about Mitt Romney? How many Met Galas has Mitt Romney been to with all these other people that do creepy pedo crap? Like, you know, could we get some digging into that, muckrakers? Oh wait, no, we won't. We're just bullshitters. Meanwhile, the actual muckrakers at Project Veritas are told that, you know, whenever they have literal recordings of people, that they're full of shit. But these people just claim on a piece of paper they have verified information, and then they'll take it on Twitter and go and try to smear somebody, and then everybody in mainstream will be like, "Oh my God, it's totally legit." Because again, these are not news people. These are not people who wish to, inform
I'm having
you.
issues with
These
this,
are
so
hacks.
I'm going to
for the
speed through
globalists.
this real fast, just so we can actually get through it, so I don't have to sit there and fuck with it. So, it says Lauren Boebert is the biggest hypocrite as Madison Cawthorn. He says one thing and does another. She says she is against abortion, but has apparently had at least 2. She claims to be a devout Christian, but is paid an escort wealthy men without a license, and has 2 abortions she wants to make illegal for other women. She takes money from Ted Cruz, but doesn't report it. If she's a law and order candidate, imagine what else she'll do to line her pockets. There's clearly no moral line Boebert won't cross, and it will keep getting as much money as she can. None of the needs of the citizens of Colorado. Our coalition of Republicans, Democrats, and unaffiliated voters are pleading with all voters in Colorado's 3rd District to take a good long look at Lauren Boebert and what she does, not what she says. So then it breaks down. It says Boebert had 2 abortions. Boebert was driving an ATV in Moab and had a serious wreck with her son in the back, and her sister-in-law was seriously injured. She was flown to a hospital via life flight. Whatever that has to do with this particular story, I have no clue. Boebert doesn't report the accident.
You think Nancy Pelosi's bad?
Law.
That's what it is.
There it is. This is the reason. Boebert doesn't report the accident as required by Utah law, and actively works to cover up the accident 2 weeks before the primary election, including paying her sister-in-law off to remain silent. Boebert uses donor money to pay other taxes and restaurant rent. Boebert still owes her employees back pay and threatens them if they protest. Well, there's no way that she owes them back pay. She isn't that stupid. It's illegal to do that. So, just no. Jason Boebert, which is her husband, is a consulting contract with an oil and gas company for $460,000 a year, but has 0 consulting experience. Oh, does that sound like anybody that we know? Hunter? No, not. No, not.
I mean, it's obvious. The
about.
wreck thing is about Pelosi that they're diversing here, and then that, as you just said, it's about Hunter. Like it's just stupid.
Right. Oh, let's just push lies against somebody else because that way if they see that there's too many people that are getting the fingers pointed at them like this, then they'll just they'll be like, oh, yeah, it's like the media sucks. Well, this is hilarious. We hope Coloradans will agree with us that Lauren Boebert doesn't deserve to represent the voters of Colorado, but she does deserve to be in the Colorado Hypocrite Hall of Fame.
Wow, they didn't say Colorado prison. I'm actually shocked. They'll probably get arrested themselves by their fellow lefties for not being as left-wing as like wanting her hung from a tree or something, allegedly, or thrown in a FEMA camp or something, or thrown into the chamber. Like, take her to the electric chair, like, they didn't say that. Wow.
So then back to this Colorado politics. So it says U.S. Rep. Lauren Boebert starts legal action over sugar daddy allegations.
Good.
Which is the allegations that we just read. So this is U.S. Rep. Lauren Boebert said that she was going after the leader of the Democratic Super PAC with the full weight of the law, publishing what the Colorado Republican says demonstrably false allegations about her personal life, all in an attempt to get her fired from Congress. American Muckrakers PAC, the group that broke numerous salacious stories about Madison Cawthorn in the weeks leading up to the primary defeat, accused Boebert in recent days of being paid escort for sugar daddy service after multiple abortions and abandoning her sister-in-law in nearly deadly May 2020 off-roading accident. The accusations made by the Super PAC, which also goes by Fire Boebert, are riddled with factual errors, a Washington Examiner review found. I like the Washington Examiner, really. So it says, this is completely baseless and disgusting, and those allegations are completely false. Boebert told the Washington Examiner for them to go after me in this manner is absolutely sexist and disgusting, and this is what people hate about politics. They hate the lies, and they hate the personal destruction. This is very damaging, and that's why I'm going after the guy personally and his group with a full force of the law. I'm not holding back, and I want to make sure that this never happens to anyone else again.
Good.
Boebert's lawyer, Jonathan Anderson, sent legal threats to American Muckrakers and its president, David Wheeler, on Wednesday, saying the law firm was irrefutable evidence that the accusations made against Boebert are patently false. No bar is too low for leftists, says Slade. Yep, exactly. We know this, though. The legal threat states muckrakers published these outlandish statements knowing they are fabricated, but they likely operated under the inaccurate assumption that publishing false statements against the public figure would not create legal liability. This will be costly miscalculations for muckrakers, Wheeler and muckrakers donors. The statement continues. Let's see. It says Utah and Colorado each classify the filing as false reports in criminal conduct. Muckrakers' illegal conduct has created substantial criminal liability for the organization, as well as individuals personally engaged in circulating false statements. American Muckrakers alleged to the press release Tuesday that it uncovered evidence that Boebert was working for a paid escort service for a sugar daddy website before she ran for Congress in December 2019. The PAC claimed a member of the Koch family had hired Boebert through the sugar daddy service, introduced her to Ted Cruz. American Muckrakers provided an actual evidence showing Boebert had many ties to the sugar daddy website. These are not absolutely disgusting and sexist statements. Web archives, they kind of pull up some weird, strange pictures of her, and that doesn't look like her either way.
Oh my god. Did they really? Oh my god. It doesn't look like her at all. At all.
No, none of it. And that's why I'm like, what in the... I mean, it's a lengthy article. I would totally suggest anybody go actually check this article out. This is on Colorado politics. You can find it other places as well. I do have a Daily Beast article that covers the same stuff. They actually had some interesting... She's to figure out how to win. Otherwise, they'll keep trying every other trick they can to come up with. Yeah, and that's what they're actually doing right now. Is they're like, let's do whatever we can to, slander her and make her look like the bad person.
I mean, this should be pretty easy. This is just out and out defamation. Just sue them and get the money.
Here's the Daily Beast article or whatever that it goes over the same stuff. They actually have some tweets that are in there. So here's Occupy Democrats. Let's see if I can't make that a little bigger so everybody else can see that.
Oh my god, it's chunky yogurt.
Yeah, chunky yogurt says something. So then breaking, the American Muckrakers PAC alleges that Lauren Boebert used to be an unlicensed paid escort and met clients using sugar daddy website. Allegedly her escorts, and you hear all the allegedlys in there, right? The facts are still unconfirmed. Retweet if you think this sounds true. 10,000
If you think
times.
it sounds true, wow.
That's Occupy Democrats, right? Here's Chunky Yogurt. If Lauren Boebert escorts the abortion story is true, then I can't wait to see what Republican voters are going to do. Who had 2 abortions while claiming to be pro-life. My guess, they won't care at all. They never mean anything they say except hating us.
It's bullshit! It's bullshit! It's bullshit! What do you know?
Whoever Nina
Bullshit!
Turner is, I don't know who Nina is. This is if Lauren Boebert actually did have 2 abortions. I'm glad she had access to safe, legal abortion services. Every person should have the freedom and safety if they so choose to have an abortion. 37,000 people like that. You see, Chunky only got 3,000.
It's bullshit!
Or those are the hearts anyway. Freaking chunk yogurt. Yeah.
It's bullshit!
So, Brianna Wu. Another blue check mark. I don't know who needs to hear it, but you can absolutely point out the hypocrisy of Lauren Boebert being a former sex worker and having multiple abortions while trying to deny other women access to the same choices. I doubt that she did this. I really seriously do. I don't.
What
whatever
makes you
these
think
people
that?
I
mean, if you know what Chunk Yogurt says, and it's probably true. Oh my God! The best video of Chunky Yogurt is Chunky Yogurt versus Alex Jones. Oh my God! It's
Slade
so
Ranger
beast
says he
mode,
likes
and then
chunk
Roger, a
like
little bit of
gum.
Roger Stone in the background there, a little bit of Roger Stone sprinkled around. It's just beautiful. When we're done with this, I should pull that up.
Well, yeah, we have plenty of time to mess around. We can do some other. So this is if Lauren Boebert made a deeply personal decision to have an abortion, it is her right. I believe that right must be protected for all women. Thanks, Charles Booker. It says for Kentucky, so I'm guessing he must be something to do with running for Congress or something. Lauren Boebert comes back. Fact check. Not true. Fake news. 4 Pinocchios. Also, y'all need Jesus.
Perfectly summed up.
Exactly. And that's what exactly anybody that feels that they're being destroyed by something or somebody for no reason whatsoever, just to go straight out and just point the fingers back and say, y'all need to grow the fuck up. Y'all need Jesus. Stop pointing fingers at people and making accusations up because you feel that, oh, if I do that, we actually get somewhere, because you ain't getting shit nowhere.
You ain't getting shits nowheres.
So, like I said, I didn't really have anything else planned. That was all I really had. I had no time to come up with anything else that was good. AmericaShirts says that we can play around for another hour and 15 minutes. Okay. What you got, buddy? Get anything fun?
I was gonna pull up Chunky Yogurt. Having his nervous breakdown about Trump here. If I can find that, I'm gonna mute my mic because sometimes for whatever the hell reason it comes across.
So Dancing Trump has been removed from my list of videos to play because I don't know why, but I heard somebody had said something about the potential of having, or they had a video that I believe the expert said he had a video that was taken down, or like the whole 7 hours was claimed or something, because he had played something to do with a Dancing Trump. Dancing Trump is now removed from the circulation until further notice. Just saying. Because that's really, really going to suck if that's the case. If they go and they try claiming a bunch of videos or whatever, because I'm going to get screwed. You're going to get screwed super hard. So everybody should make sure that they also follow me somewhere else. Oh, Slade. Really? We're talking to you, man. As well as the other couple of people. There seems to be one other person on YouTube and one person over on Twitch. Y'all can talk to us. We'll hold a conversation while AmericaShirts pulls up a little video. Don't play Ronald Reagan. Anytime that I've played Ronald Reagan, they've claimed it. Like somebody owns rights to Ronald Reagan. Everybody make sure that you like, share, subscribe. That's what this is about, is like, sharing, and subscribing. We need more people to do that. I want to get to the 100. I want to actually go and name my channel. That's my main objective at the moment. AmericaShirts, are you alive? Oh no. AmericaShirts? It's just me, I guess. So, I did pick up another sub today. I'm up to 64. Thank you very much. Anybody that is listening or listening later on, if you... Dang, that's some crazy stuff there. I don't know if I can show that. Maybe not. Dang. It's amazing what you can find on Twitter. Digging through Twitter and looking around Twitter, you can really find a whole bunch of stuff. AmericaShirts, are you with me? Hello, AmericaShirts. Well, you know, that's what happens. Sometimes, you know, certain things like that happen where, you know, you get some failures. Sometimes it's human errors. He's lagging out a hard time right now. Well, maybe he'll come back. That's awesome. There you go. Myra Flores, this lady that we were talking about last night. The criminal organization's in full control of our southern border, and we can no longer be supporting illegal immigration. It's awesome. It's just wonderful that she's actually, you know. Oh, there you go. She's the... Elon Musk lives in that area. As soon as Elon Musk's first GOP vote goes to Texas, is Myra Flores. We're all grateful. Heck yeah. That's exciting. It's exciting for Myra. It's exciting for a lot of people. AmericaShirts. Well, I don't know what's going on with AmericaShirts. Seems to be having a slight issue with connection or something. He's still here. Our stream is still running, right? Somebody's still here? Somebody talk to me. Somebody tell me if I'm still alive. I know he's not. I think the Canadians finally got him. I really didn't have a lot of time to actually do research on some new stuff. I mean, just really sitting around taking care of the kiddo today. And watching different shows. Y'all got me watching too many different things. I love it, but, you know, when it comes down to it, check out Div Inity stuff. She's got a lot of fun stuff out there. Sub to Grim. He's he's working on something all the time. He's always got something working in his head. It's AmericaShirts. Where are you? I think there's an issue. I think he needs to probably disconnect and come back in. I really do. I hope, even if it's on a slight delay, just there he goes. Let's see if he tries that and comes back, because I'm sure he's full of talk and he's just talking and nothing was coming over. Oh. So, no show tomorrow. Tomorrow, if you want to figure out where I'm at, I'll be in the experts chat at least for Friday Night Live. You'll be off the hook. Make sure you check it out. I'm only waiting around because of AmericaShirts to see if he comes back. As soon as he comes back, we'll probably not hang out too much longer. If not, I'm going to close this down in a few minutes. If there's anybody out there that has something they would like to share, would like to talk to me, I'll totally hold a conversation with them. There's just so much to talk about, and it's so hard to talk about all of it. And all the stuff that you want to talk about, sometimes you can't talk about it because YouTube doesn't allow, for whatever reason. It's kind of disturbing. We'll give him another moment to see if he shows up. Doesn't show up, we'll just call it good for the night. Nice little short episode. Be good to your neighbors. Thank you very much. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, do all those fun things. Tell your friends to do the same. Until later, everybody have a good night. Later.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.